Coming up tonight on YCN News, Vermont joins the list of states whose elected lawmakers have raised the state minimum wage. A rabid fox attacks a neighborhood in Springfield, New Hampshire. And vaudeville returns to the Blazing Star Grange in New Hampshire. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Monday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. With many eyes on the weekend work of the Vermont legislature, the first major development happened Friday night shortly before 9 p.m. Vermont joins the list of states whose elected lawmakers have raised the state minimum wage. In the give and take that marks negotiation, the end result is now clear. Vermont's minimum wage will rise from its current $8.73 an hour to $10.50 an hour by 2018. The wage will rise each year over the next several years until the new hourly of $10.50 is met. Governor Peter Shumlin told lawmakers Friday night he would be proud to sign the bill. Turning to New Hampshire news, per state statute, town meeting season continues. Towns can hold elections and town meetings on the second Tuesday in May. That's exactly what Newport, New London, and Hanover do. Contested races highlight this year's Newport and New London elections. Plus, several warrant articles will determine if police and public works employees in Newport will get a raise. Voters in Hanover will determine several zoning issues, including if some structures should be set back further from the road. YCN News will follow the results from these three communities. A large crowd of students and parents gathered in New London, New Hampshire over the weekend. Colby-Sawyer College held its graduation for the class of 2014 on Saturday. Let's join YCN's John O'Connor, who covered the event.
Thanks, Rose. We're on the campus of Colby-Sawyer College, where they're celebrating their 176th graduation. The weather here is a little damp, but it's not dampening the enthusiasm for the graduates and the speakers. While each student celebrating their graduation, there were a number of key events that we'd like to report on. The first is the Town Award. The Town Award is presented to a resident or organization in the New London area that has shown extraordinary involvement in and made noteworthy contributions to Colby-Sawyer College. This year it goes to Adventures in Learning. Adventures in Learning offers residents of New London and the surrounding region a variety of educational opportunities. Colby-Sawyer has partnered with them since 1998. From the campus of Colby-Sawyer College in New London, New Hampshire, I'm John O'Connor reporting for YCN News, and now back to the studio.
Thanks, John. Congratulations to the class of 2014. Our next story poses a threat to more than just our four-legged furry friends. On Thursday, May 8th at around 8:30 a.m., Barbara Garlock of Springfield, New Hampshire was out raking her lawn when she noticed a fox chasing the neighbor's puppy. The dog escaped, but soon after the fox ran up to her, attempting to attack. Seeing this behavior as clearly out of the ordinary for foxes, Garlock knew it must be rabid and swatted the animal with her rake in self-defense before escaping into her home. The neighborhood was alarmed and called the Springfield police, who arrived to the scene. It was clear that the animal had been affected by rabies and had proceeded to attack other locals. According to the pamphlet Wildlife, Rabies, and You by the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department, foxes, skunks, raccoons, and even bats are the animals most commonly affected by rabies. The site warns that not all rabid animals will foam at the mouth, but noticeable symptoms may include staggering walk, restlessness, aggressiveness, or even friendliness. To protect yourself from rabies exposure, the pamphlet suggests vaccinating your pets, avoiding stray or wild animals, even young or baby ones, avoiding leaving pet food outside the home as this encourages wild animals to come around, and teaching children to stay away from animals and foreign pets. If you're exposed or bitten, wash the wound and immediately see a doctor for treatment, as rabies untreated is most often fatal.
The good folks at H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils want you to know that their philosophy is simple. Wow 'em with our service. Fuel delivery when you need it and how you want it. Prepay or a 10-month budget plan puts you in control and provides automatic delivery. Or just call when you're at a quarter of a tank. Pay cash and get an additional 10 cents per gallon off.
Wow 'em with service. It's the H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils way of doing business.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. With real estate season upon us, YCN News spoke with Sarah Powell, loan officer at the Connecticut Riverbank in Claremont, New Hampshire, for some great tips on home financing. Let's hear from her now.
We at Connecticut Riverbank offer a variety of programs, from the Rural Development Guarantee Program that requires no down payment at all to seasonal home loan programs that require 20% down payment. And we offer the first-time home buyer programs, construction loans, land loans, manufactured home loans, conventional programs. All of those range in down payment requirements from no down payment to 20% down payment. So when I'm talking with the customer, I talk with them at length to determine which program is best for them. I think it's important to choose a mortgage banker that's familiar with the area and offers a loan program that suits their financial needs the best. And I think a buyer should look for a lender that will respond to them quickly and take the time to explain the process to them. Because mortgage lending can be very confusing, especially to a first-time home buyer. So it's important for a buyer to feel comfortable with the loan officer. I would discourage anyone from going through the online-only mortgage brokers. Sometimes I think buyers think that going through these online brokers are more convenient for them, but I think in the long run, the process can be pretty challenging. It's often difficult to get in touch with anyone or the same person if you have questions on the loan that's in process.
Thanks, Sarah. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or an experienced buyer, it's always important to find the right professional to guide you through proper financing. Vaudeville returned to one town in New Hampshire Saturday night. Skits, a bit of humor, songs performed a cappella style, meaning no musical accompaniment, all combined to bring peals of laughter to the nearly 50 people gathered in the audience. The Blazing Star Grange is officially known as number 71. Proceeds from Saturday night's show will go to the restoration of the Grange stage scenery. After the show, program organizer Mary Finelli said she and her team of volunteers see the summer when building restoration will continue. Volunteers are welcome. To learn more about the Grange's upcoming shows, including a June 7th sock hop, go to www.danburygrange.org. On an earth-friendly note, the state of Vermont is encouraging people to recycle their electronic devices in a free and safe manner. The Vermont e-Cycle program was introduced to allow convenient access to recycling centers around the state. In New Hampshire, groups such as WinCycle encourage electronic recycling as well. Here at the Lebanon Co-op in Lebanon, New Hampshire, and the WinCycle crew, sponsored by the Co-op and Long Trail Brewery, worked to sort through many items brought in for recycling. Recyclers turned in their TVs, computers, printers, and monitors. Electronic recycling is needed because many electronic devices contain toxic materials that must be dealt with safely. Mark Morgan, the executive director of WinCycle, speaks to us about what his organization is doing.
This is an electronics recycling event. We're partnering with Long Trail Ale and the Hanover Food Co-op to collect electronics from area residents to properly recycle them. Most places you can't throw them away anymore, so there's a lot of nasty stuff in some of these devices, so it's important to properly recycle all of them, anything with a plug. WinCycle is located in Windsor, Vermont, and we take electronics for recycling 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday.
Warner's Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Today we'll have mostly sunny skies with highs around 82 degrees. Winds will be around 10 miles per hour. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with lows in the 50s and winds around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy with temperatures dropping to bring highs in the 60s. Winds will remain around 5 miles per hour. Tuesday night will be cloudy with a low of 45 degrees. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy and highs will be in the 70s. Winds will range between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night will be cloudy with lows in the 50s. Here's a glimpse of the weather from our northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow, Newport, New Hampshire will hold its second session town voting day beginning at 8 a.m. In Warren, New Hampshire, the Selectmen's meeting will be held at 6 p.m. In Vermont, the Hartford Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. and the Windsor Select Board will meet at 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Turning to high school sports, we have some game results to report on. The Kearsarge men's varsity tennis hosted Portsmouth Christian Academy. Both teams played through the cold, damp conditions to complete the match. Though many of the individual games were close, Kearsarge won the overall contest 6-3. In other Kearsarge sports last Friday, Kearsarge women's lacrosse hosted Hopkinton. Both teams worked hard as the cold, misty, drizzly weather made playing conditions less than ideal. Kearsarge jumped out to an early lead of 3-0, but the Cougars kept on moving to a great victory. The final score was 16-6.
Thanks, John, and thank you for joining us for this Monday edition of YCN News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YCNNewsNow and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at YCNNow. You can also check out our blog at wycu.wordpress.com for updated news stories and our online broadcasts. And you can watch our programs anytime online at www.ycnnow.com. Be sure to stay tuned after the news on WYCU to watch Capital Connections with John O'Connor. I'm Rose Spillman for YCN, your local view. Good night.